Can love inspire a pasta dish? Well, that's the question. In 1914, Roman restaurateur Alfred de Lelio created a pasta dish for his pregnant wife. Now, she was having a hard time keeping food down. The dish was so loved by her, it was creamy and cheesy, as well as a lot of his friends, that it went onto his restaurant menu. Now, fast forward years later, and Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks, well, they were honeymooning in Rome, and they ate the dish so many times, fell in love with the recipe, they brought it back to the States with them. Now, by 1928, a dish you know and well love, fettuccine alfredo, well, the rest of the States loved it too, and that's what Ashley is making for us today.
I am, and I'm very, very excited. This has to be a recipe that I'm most excited about because it has the least amount of ingredients. So this is only gonna have 4 ingredients. What you see out here with the addition of butter is what the whole recipe is going to be. So first thing we're gonna do is we are going to start to cook the pasta. I have 3 quarts of water here for 1 pound of fettuccine pasta.
It's a little different ratio there.
It is a little different. Tried to fool you, but I guess I wasn't very successful. Normally we do all of our recipes for pasta with 4 quarts of water. Now I reduced this down to 3 quarts of water because for just 3 quarts of water, it's gonna be a super concentrated, starchy addition to the sauce. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of salt in here, and that's gonna help to season the pasta as it cooks.
So no bechamel. I've seen Alfredo sauces where they take butter and flour, cook it together, and then add milk. Basically, they're creating a bechamel because that flour will thicken the sauce.
Right.
But the pasta cooking water is going to do that.
That's it, yeah. Okay, on to the Parmesan cheese.
All right.
Here we have 4 ounces or 2 cups of the real Italian Parmigiano Reggiano. Something very important to this recipe is that this has been grated on a rasp-style grater, and it's going to shred the cheese very fine because this is going to break down into the sauce, and it's going to give it that really creamy, cheesy flavor because it's one of the main ingredients.
Yeah, we don't want it to be granular, have any big clumps of cheese in there. And it's a good idea to grate your own Parmesan and not buy it pre-grated because sometimes they add something called cellulose to the bag. Now that is safe to eat. However, it keeps it from clumping. Sometimes that can be a good thing. But actually in this case, it's going to give a gritty feel to the dish. Also, this is, take a look at this thing. This is my year-end bonus here. This is a huge chunk of Parmigiano Reggiano. Beautiful, you can tell by the label on the exterior. And this bit of rind here, make sure you cut off and save this little bit of rind here. Pop it in the freezer. It's great for adding to soups and stews. It gives such amazing flavor to just about any dish.
That's absolutely true. All right, so we are just going to cook this until nearly al dente.
All right.
While the pasta cooks, I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees, and that's just going to help to ensure that these 2 serving bowls are gonna stay nice and warm for us to eat. Because with a sauce like this, it's really cheesy. You don't want it to get, you know, solidified or anything like that when it does start to cool down. So this is gonna ensure that it stays really nice and creamy as we eat it.
Luscious and loose.
Okay, so the pasta is done cooking. Well, it's nearly al dente, but I am going to reserve 1 cup of the pasta cooking water, as I mentioned earlier, that starchy liquid gold that's gonna help us finish the sauce.
Very cloudy, and that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. So as you can see, I'm using a ladle here to measure the cooking water, and that's a really good tip because the last thing I wanna do is stick a glass anything into a pot of boiling water.
Sure. And also you would have to have your hand awfully close to the hot water too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cool.
So I will be right back. I'm just gonna drain this pasta.
All right.
Okay, now comes the fun part. I'm gonna put this on low. Let's make the Alfredo.
Let's do it.
Okay, so everybody in the pool at once, kids. 1 cup of the pasta cooking water. Again, we have that 4 ounces of the finely grated Parmigiano Reggiano. And here we have 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And I cut those into 5 separate pieces because that just helps to make everything melt evenly, a little bit quicker, just to help emulsify into the sauce.
Nice, and that's why also you're not using melted butter. You want it to be solid butter.
Correct.
So that as it melts, it gets nice and creamy. Without cream, I don't see any milk.
Nope.
There's no cream.
No cream cheese. So I'm gonna vigorously stir using these tongs for 1 minute over low heat until the cheese is melted. All right, 1 minute is up, and as you can see, some cheese has climbed up my tongs. That's totally normal. It's going to happen to the best of us.
I want to be those tongs.
Me too. So I'm going to remove the pot from the heat, and I'm going to put the lid on the Dutch oven and let this sit for 1 minute. Now this step is really important because it's going to help any moisture be absorbed into that pasta.
All right, we can wait a minute. Alfredo, here we come. Let's see what's in there.
See, woo, those look delicious.
That is a lighter Alfredo than I expected.
I told you.
Nice hot bowls.
One for you and one for me.
Now I do this as well with spaghetti carbonara. As it sits, it cools so quickly, it'll get clumpy, and we don't want clumps.
Okay.
Looking good.
One more step. I just need to toss this together for 30 more seconds just to have all of the cheese emulsify.
Well, you're agitating it a little bit more, so more starch is going to come out and make it even creamier. Look at that.
Yes.
I cannot believe there is no dairy in there except
I
for the
know,
butter.
exactly. Now it might look a little wet at this point, but that's completely normal. As the pasta cools, it's going to continue to absorb that excess moisture. So, Mrs. Pickford.
This looks amazing. Beautiful. Pasta with butter and cheese, that's something as a parent with a one-time picky eater, that's what you order at a restaurant for them. It's never looked like this before. This looks spectacular.
Thank you very much.
Smells amazing.
I would offer more cheese, but I'm gonna just wait and see how this,
You are.
yeah.
Some things are best left unsaid. This might not be one of those times because I need to shout this from the mountaintops. This is amazing.
Wow.
So simple. This is a cheese sauce. This is all about that beautiful Parmigiano Reggiano. It's worth seeking out and finding that cheese and using it here. You will send Ashley a thank you card.
Oh, I would love to get one.
So 4 ingredients, a trick, and a little technique is all it takes to come up with this luscious and quick fettuccine Alfredo. Simmer 1 pound of pasta in 3 but not 4 quarts of water. Stir in the starchy pasta water, parm, and butter. Now let that dish sit for a minute. Toss again until the sauce turns creamy and serve at once. So from Cook's Country, it's fettuccine with butter and cheese, also known as fettuccine Alfredo. Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.